The smartphone industry never sleeps, and Samsung is once again preparing to shake things up with the highly anticipated Galaxy S26 Ultra. But here's the big question. Will this be the upgrade fans have been waiting for, or just another cautious step forward? Early leaks suggest that the S26 Ultra is bringing subtle design changes, powerful new internals, and a few surprises that could either win hearts or spark disappointment. What makes this phone fascinating is not just its specs, but the strategy behind it. Samsung seems to be balancing innovation, risk, and refinement in a way that could redefine its flagship identity. Today on Tech Insights, we're going to break down every leak, every rumor, and every bold claim surrounding this smartphone beast. So grab your seat, because this deep dive into the Galaxy S26 Ultra might just change the way you look at smartphones. And before watching, please do not forget to subscribe our channel, so that you can get notified on daily tech updated. The first thing everyone wants to know about any new Galaxy Ultra is the display, and Samsung seems to be preparing something special. Reports suggest that the Galaxy S6 Ultra will ship with a slightly larger 6.9-inch AMOLED 2X panel. At first glance, that doesn't sound like a big jump from the S25 Ultra's 6.86 inches, but the real story lies in the underlying technology. Industry insiders claim Samsung is introducing its next-generation OLED innovations, possibly a color filter on encapsulation design, which removes the traditional polarizer and reduces thickness. This not only makes the panel slimmer but also brighter, more power efficient, and capable of jaw-dropping outdoor visibility. Combine this with ultra-thin bezels and improved anti-reflective coating, and you've got one of the most immersive screens ever built for a smartphone. Some whispers even point to AI-driven pixel management, something Samsung might call Flex Magic Pixel technology, which can adjust pixel output dynamically to optimize energy usage and even provide privacy-focused viewing angles. Imagine scrolling on a bus or in a cafe without worrying about people peeking over your shoulder. That's the kind of futuristic upgrade that makes this display more than just a spec sheet bragging point. But while the display rumors generate excitement, the camera leaks tell a more complicated story. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is reportedly keeping its 200-megapixel HP2 main sensor, the same one seen since the Galaxy S23 Ultra. While this might disappoint fans hoping for a brand new camera module, Samsung may still tweak performance by offering a wider f1.4 variable aperture. This would allow the camera to capture more light in dark environments, boosting low-light photography without dramatically altering the hardware. The 5x periscope telephoto lens is expected to stick with its 50-megapixel sensor, which still offers crisp zoom shots, while the 3x telephoto could see a downgrade to a smaller 10-megapixel sensor. For many fans, this feels like a step backward, and the pressure is on Samsung to justify why the Ultra isn't pushing more groundbreaking camera upgrades in a world where Apple, Google, and even Chinese competitors like Vivo are aggressively stepping up their imaging game. That said, we can't ignore the design evolution. Renders show the S26 Ultra adopting a slightly thinner profile, expected to be under 8.8 mm, while still weighing roughly the same as the S25 Ultra. The biggest change is the redesigned two-step camera bump. Instead of the more minimalistic setup from before, the camera module now appears thicker and more pronounced, almost echoing the look of Samsung's foldable devices like the Z Fold 7. This design not only houses the bigger optics comfortably but also reduces wobble when the phone is placed flat on a table. Rounded edges and a refined frame finish off the package, suggesting that Samsung wants to keep the Ultra looking premium but practical. Of course, hardware isn't the only piece of the puzzle. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to run on Snapdragon's next powerhouse chip in most regions, likely the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 or Gen 3 variant depending on final branding. Built on an advanced Threem or potentially even Cibum process, this chip promises not just raw speed but also AI acceleration that could transform daily usage. Pair that with up to 16 GB of RAM and 1 TB of storage, and the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be an absolute performance beast. In select regions, Samsung may continue to experiment with its own Exynos 2600 chip, but insiders suggest the Ultra model will stick exclusively to Snapdragon for stability and consumer confidence. Now let's talk about battery and charging, because this is where Samsung has historically lagged behind competitors like Xiaomi. Sadly, leaks suggest that the S26 Ultra will still be capped at 45W wired charging, falling short of Apple's rumored 400W jump-ins behind brands offering 100W or more. The battery size is expected to stay around 5,000 mAh, which is reliable but not groundbreaking. Samsung seems to be betting on software, level optimizations and AI-driven power management rather than chasing headline-grabbing wattage numbers. Wireless charging and reverse charging features are also expected to stay, but unless Samsung surprises us, this is one area where fans might feel underwhelmed. The S Pen, thankfully, is here to stay. Despite wild rumors that Samsung might eventually phase it out, credible reports confirm that the S26 Ultra will not only retain the S Pen but also introduce smarter AI features. Think about sketching a shape, and the phone automatically refining it into a perfect circle, square, or diagram. Imagine annotating a screenshot and having AI suggest labels, formatting, or even translations in real time. The S Pen is evolving from a stylus into a true productivity assistant, keeping the Note legacy alive while modernizing it for the AI era. Speaking of software, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will debut with One UI 8 based on Android 16. This update is rumored to be one of the most AI-driven interfaces Samsung has ever released. Expect features like predictive multitasking, context-aware shortcuts, and even voice commands that understand not just what you say, but what you mean. If Samsung executes this well, it could finally make Galaxy devices feel more intelligent and intuitive than iOS, which is something fans have been waiting for. Now comes the million-dollar question: is the Galaxy S26 Ultra worth the hype? From the looks of it, Samsung is playing a careful balancing act. On one hand, we're getting a next-level display, Snapdragon power, slimmer design, and AI-powered software. On the other, we're seeing stagnation in the camera department, limited charging upgrades, and cautious refinements rather than bold risks. For some fans, that might feel disappointing. For others, it's exactly what they want: a phone that feels polished, premium, and dependable rather than experimental. And let's not forget about pricing. Leaks suggest that Samsung will stem tiers as the S25 Ultra around $499 for the base 256GB model, $1,420GB, and $1,659 for 1TB. In a world where Apple keeps creeping prices upward, Samsung holding steady could be a subtle but powerful strategy to win consumer trust. So, what does this all mean for the Galaxy S26 Ultra? Simply put, it represents a turning point. It's not the radical overhaul some fans were hoping for, but it's also not just a lazy refresh. It's a showcase of Samsung's strategy in a fiercely competitive market: refine where it matters most, innovate where it's safe, and hold back where risks outweigh rewards. Whether that strategy pays off depends on how the phone feels in real-world use, not just on paper. As always, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be the ultimate flagship, or do you feel Samsung is playing it too safe while rivals are pushing harder? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's start a conversation. And of course, if you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a like and share it with your friends. Stay tuned, because here on Tech Insights, we'll be covering every new leak, every surprise feature, and the full launch when it happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.